How we doing? Welcome back to Juarez, Mexico. I'm still in the same area, Mariano Escobedo, but we made it to a prettier chapel for P-Day, you know? Check that out, I'm improving. But today is a June 22nd day. Just wanted to come back, hit you guys with a quick email. It's been about a month since I subired, since we climbed up to the cross. I know this backdrop isn't as good, but one step at a time, we're finding it. We're figuring it out. On that note, I just recently hit 10 months this last week, and it is just flying by. Just enjoying every single day, just trying to figure it out. Struggling here, struggling there, battling with the heat. That's the first subject we will touch on. Today is 106. And you know, I think about it, I'm like, how could I possibly be outside at 4 p.m. in the afternoon when it's 106? So somehow, some way, our bodies really adapt to it because it feels quite nice. There's a little bit of a breeze. We got the nice, beautiful tree here. What a beautiful church. I'm still sweating as we speak, but you know, it is what it is. The difference between Mexican heat versus a Utah heat, which is never as bad, but maybe a Phoenix heat, is that when it's 105 outside, it means it's 105 inside. And our apartment does not have any air conditioning more than our 2 little fans, which became a really big problem this last Friday, I think. Thursday night into Friday morning. We've got our fans going in, and the only way that we're ever able to sleep here in Mexico is you take your undershirt off right before bed, dunk it under the water. I don't care how wet it is. You don't wring it out. It's dripping. Just get in bed on the sheets. No blanket, no pillow. The pillow's like a rock of fire, and you just try to see if that'll work out. Usually, if you worked hard during the day, you usually drift off to sleep. But Thursday night into Friday, there's a big thunderstorm, big lightning storm. And, you know, usually that's cool, but it only ever rains at night. I'm like, okay. And about 1 a.m., early in the night, you know, we'd only been asleep 2.5 hours at this point. The biggest lightning bolt I've ever heard, boom, right above our house. I'm like, oh no, and the power goes out immediately. And sometimes, you know, the Mexican power, it's not the quickest, not the highest quality that we talk about back in Utah. So sometimes it comes right back on. But no, it didn't. And I'm just like so tired, just sweaty at bed. I try to go back to sleep, and I drift off into this sweaty freaking fever dream of a sleep for like 3 hours. Wake up about 4 a.m. It's just over. That's just it for the night. You know, I was up scrolling Google Photos and had to go out and work once again. Try to get it done. So that's been the way it's been working lately. Battling with the heat, trying to figure it out. Need to get a better hat. My buddy Elder Farmer gifted me with a big giant sombrero. He said, "Hey, I got a hat for you. I got another one just like this one." And showed me this little wide brim hat from REI. I'm like, I love that, man. Shows up to District Council, boom, Emiliano Zapato, a hat, right? So that's it with the heat. Little bit of an update. Last week I got a new comp. It's my comp number 4. I had 2 cycles with Elder Flores, 2 cycles with Elder Lopez, 2 with Elder Romero, and I'm in my 7th cycle with Elder Feats. Escribe, you write it P-F-U with an umlaut, T-Z-E, Elder Feats. And he's from Brazil. Super cool dude. He's from the southern part of Brazil, so he speaks Portuguese and everything, but his Spanish sounds completely Mexican. Like, hardly any of our friends in teaching ever even notice that he's got an accent, or they just think it's from some other state. But I can understand him perfectly. He's been in the mission almost the same amount of time as me. He got here 6 weeks after me. So it's been super awesome. For the first time in my mission, I really feel like, oh yeah, we're really bouncing back 50-50. And we're just trying to invite people to come under Christ. Feats is awesome. He's from Brazil, so just huge football head, right? Huge soccer guy. Just like everyone there, they're just born with it down there. And you know, I thought that'd be how Mexico would be too, but here in Juarez, they play more basketball. It seems and it feels more like the United States. That is until El Mundial, the World Cup. Holy crap, the whole world has shut down. You just walk out on the streets. Mexico sucks at soccer. They will not win. They're just as bad as the United States, but every third person you see has the same green jersey on them. I'm like, wow. I haven't seen any culture, any Mexican pride at all in all of Juarez, all of Chihuahua until this point. So I'm living it up. I've never been a soccer fan at all, but you go to eat with the members and boom, they've got it on. And as a missionary, you take what you can get. So I saw all of France play. I saw all of the Brazil versus, who'd they play? I don't know, but they won 3-0. And, you know, I'm trying to stay focused on my missionary purpose. I'm focused on the food, but, you know, it's pretty fun. I've never been a soccer fan, but it's good to see. Fun to talk soccer with other feeds as well. Other than that, we've had a couple baptisms lately. It's been super successful. More than anyone, we were able to baptize our friend Jorge this week. And Jorge was super awesome, super interesting because to me, he didn't really catch my attention more than anyone else. He just seemed a little interested. He said we could come back. So I put him in our carpeta. I put him as a point, you know, someone who might be interested. We can keep progressing with him. And actually, we kind of forgot about him for a while because he didn't have a phone. And usually that's just it and done. But after a week, we were able to visit him again, and he said he wanted to come to church. So we went, picked him up on Sunday, showed him where the church was at. He was there. He loved it. We had a baptism of our friend Patricia ese día. So he stayed, and we put him on baptismal day right after the baptism. And then from that point, it was just perfect, you know, super, super easy. And, you know, just always focused, always completing his commitments, and just progressing, you know. And it really just kind of caught my attention on what we really do here as missionaries, you know. That I'm not here to make the people who aren't interested, you know. I know it's true. I know that the Spirit's real. I know that if they act in their commitments and really search it with a true intent, they're going to get a response. But that true intent is something necessary, and I don't have any control over that. So really, as missionaries, we're just the messengers that bring this message to those that have already been prepared. I know Jorge was already prepared. We had his baptism on Thursday this last week, right after Zone Conference, so it was just an epic day. And he got to pass the sacrament on Sunday because there's not a lot of youth in our ward. So I was sitting up on the stand playing the violin on Sunday, and we didn't have as many friends in church as I wanted, but I couldn't take my joy away because I saw Jorge passing the sacrament. And that's what we do it. That's why we do it. Just really love that. As I close here, I've got a spiritual thought for you guys, but I'm trying to make some goals as I reach the hump day of my mission. I'm 10 months in. I don't know where the time is going. Might be a little early to say hump day too. It's still another 2 months. I kind of feel like I'm at a year, but we gotta settle down before we reach that point. But I really want to be better with my videos. So I'm making the commitment here. Video every 3 weeks. That's 2 a cycle. You heard it here first. Well, we'll get you 1 more in 3 weeks with other feats. And that too, I want to be playing the violin a little bit more. I'm trying to get some things on my photo album. This week, actually. No! Man. Always the opposition arrives, right? No, we'll just keep it going. We'll just keep it running. This next week, on Saturday, they've got a little youth conference, and I'll be pulling up to the stake. I get to play Walk With Me. We'll see how it goes. I still have to practice with a piano accompaniment. I'm excited. I think it should be fun. We'll close it off with a little spiritual thought. I had the opportunity to give a talk last Sunday because the bishop wasn't there, the counselor wasn't there, and he was like, "You elders are going to be the program." Well, he called on us 4 to give talks. And the first 2 elders only spoke for like 3 minutes. I'm like, oh no. I hadn't prepared anything either. I'm like, oh no, good thing I'd spend all my time outside preaching anyway, right? So I talked about the atonement of Jesus Christ. And something has really caught my eye about the atonement recently. That we know God created this plan for us. That we had to come here and experience the life, experience misery, experience pain, experience these challenges that we go through in order that we can improve, especially in those moments of difficulties and questions, right? But we know that in that process, we're going to sin, we're going to make mistakes, and because of that, we won't be able to return to our Father in heaven. He demands justice, and without that, he would cease to be God, right? So we know that we required a Redeemer to come here, Jesus Christ. They had to die and suffer for our sins. And we focus on that usually. He died on the cross. He suffered in Gethsemane for our sins. But I really like the thoughts of an elder Bednar And Elder Scott touches on this sometimes. What about the people who are doing all they can? You know, they make mistakes too, but how does the atonement apply to them? We know it applies to the sinner. How does it apply to those who are really living that life, right? And I really like this idea that Christ suffered more for our sins. He also suffered for our challenges, our infirmities, our sicknesses, and our injustices. Those moments where it's not fair, where we're doing everything we can and it's still hard. And he understands that. I just wanted to share one verse with you. It's Mosiah 3:7. And I'm holding my Spanish scriptures right now, I'm realizing. So I'll read it in Spanish, but I'll put it right there in English. En español dice, y aquí sufrirá tentaciones y dolor en el cuerpo, hambre, sed y fatiga, aún más de que el hombre puede sufrir sin morir. Pues he aquí, la sangre le brotará de cada puro. Tan grande será su angustia por la iniquidad y abominaciones de su pueblo. It says that he'll suffer temptations, hunger, thirst, greater than we can possibly imagine, possibly experience without dying. And because of that, he knows how you feel. He knows how I feel, even when I'm trying to be a righteous missionary, trying to do what things I can, and it's still hard. It's still hard to go out and battle with the sun. And because of that, he knows how you feel. He knows you personally. He loves you, and you can't change it no matter what. That's about it. I'm Elder Howe. I know that God knows it. You know it too. Boom.